Hey, welcome guys. Week 5 scouting here. We're going to take a look at a mint field real quick. And I got one key thing I want to really hone in and show you guys this week that we're dealing with in a little bit of the mint out here. So let's pull in real quick. I'll give you more details of the scouting, but I want you to look at this, try to get it in a place where we can see this well. But all that little white, those little white round spots on the leaves, kind of throughout, that is powdery mildew. And you'll mostly see it on the underside of the leaf. You'll see some raised bumps. You'll see little white clusters of spores. A lot of times it'll infect the really new growth on plants. So like this mint, it seems to be kind of throughout it, but that might be just, because we have a lot of biomass really quick and the leaf structure isn't quite as well developed or strong, so it's not able to resist some of this mildew growth. As we have had such a wet spring, especially these gravity irrigated fields, and when that rows close on the baby mint, as soon as we had row closure, we saw a lot of spike in it. So there's a few key things. If you have some baby mint or even some of your adult fields that are really thick and bushy and the heat can't penetrate well into it, I would look down in those lower leaves and see, you'll see it mostly on the underside of the leaf. So that's something to specifically look out for this week. Otherwise, really keeping our eye out for the mites. We're going to see a spike we are seeing a spike in temperatures this week. And we're going to be anywhere from 95 all the way up to possibly 100, 103, anywhere in there. So keep your eye out, especially in your adult mint fields, because what usually happens is if you've had mite infestations in previous years, you're going to see substantially more pressure in those mint fields that have had it previously. So keep an eye out in those lower leaves on the underside of the leaf. And be looking for those. Be looking for the eggs, webbing, any of that stuff. Also, something to think about. Looking at your neighboring fields around you is very important. If you have, say, wheat or something like that, wheat that's drying down and getting harvested soon, what you'll end up having is the mites will move after that wheat's harvested. They'll move from there over to something new. And so we've noticed specifically with wheat that it can be an issue. You'll see a mite infestation in your field as soon as the wheat's harvested. So here's a prime example of what I was talking about in the as far as looking at your neighboring fields. There's a wheat field right above us there. It's drying down really good. And so as I'm out scouting this mint field in the next few weeks, when they pull that thing out of there, I'm gonna be walking to the top of that field and expecting to see mites. So I want to be on the lookout because if we get in there early, we might be able to get by with just running a little quick spray pass right at the top of the field instead of the whole field being infested with mites. So those will help you sometimes save dollars if you know where to look for mites in your fields and stuff like that. Just obviously always observing your general plant health. We've noticed that in some of this mint, some of the lower leaves are yellowing out a little bit. You can see right here in those lower leaves, that's usually just mostly just as that plant material is growing, it's pushing a tremendous amount of nutrients towards that newer growth, the vegetative, and then working to build that up for the reproductive growth as well. So something like that is most likely like a potassium deficiency, possibly. It's hard to tell exactly. That's why we use sap sampling once again to figure out exactly what's going on there. Sometimes it's just a little bit of shading, but those are things to be paying attention to. Thanks for joining me, and remember guys, make farming fun again.